This is the Flabbergasted Podcast, where we just can't believe you haven't seen it.
Every episode, we discuss a movie that one of us has seen and the other hasn't.
And sometimes that neither of us have seen.
Follow us on Instagram
At Flabberpod.
and subscribe in your podcast app of choice. I'm your host, Jessica.
I'm your host, Rogge.
Let's get to it.
3, 2, 1.
That was a pretty good one.
Pretty good one. Hello and welcome back to Flabbergasted. I am one of your hosts, Rogge. I'm here with Jessica, and we are coming to you talking about Frankenstein. Frankenstein is a 2025 film directed by Guillermo del Toro, starring Oscar Isaac, Jacob Elordi, and Christoph Waltz. IMDb says that it is Dr. Frankenstein, a brilliant but egotistical scientist who brings a creature to life in a monstrous experiment that ultimately leads to the undoing of both the creator and his tragic creation. So Frankenstein is a Netflix movie, and we kind of came to this because it was nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards.
Yes. And Rogge likes to watch those.
Yeah, I do. It's one of the main ways that I let myself be pretentious. It's like I'm self-aware of being pretentious about it. Like I know that it's pretentious, and I want it to end. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. In this way, I'm fine with being pretentious. So, yeah, I've been into the Oscars this year. I think I've now seen 6 or 7, maybe 7 of the Best Picture nominees with this one. This is a Netflix movie. How did you feel about the experience of watching it on Netflix as opposed to in the theater? Where are you at with the pros and cons?
I love going to the theater.
Yeah, you and me both, sister.
My life right now isn't always conducive to that.
Yeah.
So I like being able to watch a movie. I like that we were able to stream it on Netflix without having to do a bunch of extra stuff, and it's still a very current movie. Like I didn't have to wait to stream it at home. It was very current, you know.
And I will say you and Jeremy are always up on, you've got a nice TV, you've got the 4K, You've got the sound bar, like the setup for it is definitely nice. And we have a projector, but it's like a $90 projector on a screen with like there's some light still. It's not 4K or anything. Do you like pause and go to the bathroom and stuff? You on your phone? Do you like any of those options with watching it?
If I'm at home, one of the benefits is I can pause if I need to, but I generally don't want to.
Right.
Another benefit is I get the subtitles. And I like to have the subtitles.
Yeah.
If I'm in the movie, at the movie theater, I don't get the subtitles, but I also don't have anything else trying to get my attention.
Yeah.
Usually, I get my vibrations on my watch or something that somebody needs something or whatever, and occasionally, so that's fine. One of the other benefits of the movie theater is the Pepsi Ices that I can get.
Okay.
Which is mostly and only at our movie theater. You can't get them anywhere else in town. But I was gifted a Ninja Slushie for my Christmas.
True.
For my Christmas.
That's true.
For my birthday
Well, it was your
and Christmas.
Yeah.
So I can have that at home now too.
Is it as good as the movie theater?
I mean, yeah, I think it is actually.
Wow.
Like it's not real. A Pepsi one tastes pretty Pepsi, yeah.
That's pretty good. That's high praise.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I watched 2 movies. I went to the movie theater and watched a movie with Andrew. Maybe we'll record something about that. I don't know. And then I watched this movie at home.
Which apparently is on Andrew's, like, to be watched list. And so we should have called him up and said, hey, watch this and we'll call you in.
We could have 3-wayed with Andrew on this one. Love a 3-way. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Which I didn't know until Jeremy was like looking at Andrew's review for whatever you watched yesterday.
How to Make a Killing.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, the stage of life that you are in is not completely conducive to just heading off to the movie theater all the time, which for me, it is. I'm like, sure, what do you want? Andrew texted me 2 days ago, hey, do you want to go to the theaters to a movie? And I was like, yes, what movie? Like in that order, So I assumed that you could watch one movie yesterday, and that was Frankenstein in the evening. He could watch one movie, and that was How to Make a Killing in the early afternoon. But I would it would have been presumptuous of me to say, hey, Andrew, also watch this other movie.
For sure.
Ignore your kids for another 3 hours later
yeah,
in the day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're not fully moved into this house after 1 week, and your wife would be ecstatic if you.
Yeah. We have to plan that just a little bit better if
Yeah.
we want to do it. But
There's
yeah,
more
it
planning.
could have worked.
I mean, I'm already asking Andrew to come back to Warsaw once a week, basically. Or twice a week, but every other week between band and D&D and all that. So anyway, Frankenstein it was an interesting movie because it felt to me like, well, first of all, it was set up in different parts.
Yes.
It was part 1, part 2, part 3. And
what was part 3?
maybe it was just part 1, part 2. I don't know.
Okay.
And the parts were narratively different in that it was Dr. Frankenstein narrating the first part, and it was the creation or the monster narrating the second part. And they were kind of different movies with different themes. They're about different things, honestly.
Yeah.
And I appreciated that because I have read Frankenstein, but it has been like 16 and a half years or something. And so I remembered him going to the house and learning language and family and some of the socializing things from that French family. But I don't remember much about the very beginning and the very end necessarily. I'm interested in what you think. I think the first half of the movie is about science, the follies of just because he could, he didn't think to stop and think if he should.
If he should.
That's kind of what the first movie
yep.
is about, is the great man. It's about ego, right? It's about obsession, right? The nature of obsession, single-minded, driven, that kind of thing. And then the second half of the movie is about something totally different. It's about like the nature of existence and what it means to be human, right? And they're weirdly,
and about connection.
They're sort of like Frankensteined together, if you will.
Yeah.
Is that kind of, do you feel like there's a delineation there between that first half and second half, like when the narration changed in terms of like the themes?
Yeah. That wasn't super convincing.
Well, this isn't a well-phrased question. I'm like, here's what I think. Do you agree with me?
No, I do agree with you. They're sort of two different movies.
Yeah.
And then you get towards the end and you're finding out why and how they converge, which honestly is a main driver for what kept me interested in the movie, because we start out with the monster or the creature, I've heard both phrasings, coming after Victor. And
I didn't know there was going to be that prelude.
Yeah.
And it was all going to be told in the form of a story.
Right. You don't know why that's happening, what's going on. You're like, I don't understand this.
But you know he gets to be able to fully talk, and you know he's super strong.
Yes, and fully
and
talk.
Unkillable.
Was he not speaking in another language too?
He was speaking English.
He was only speaking English. Okay.
Yeah, he was the only one that wasn't subtitled.
Something I will say before we go further.
Subtitled, but translated.
Yes. That I found very well done is his roar.
Oh.
Like, it didn't sound too animalistic, and it didn't sound like a poor imitation of a human trying to roar.
It's a needle to thread for sure.
It really was, and it was something that hit me right away, which, call that crazy. Like, that's something that I picked up right away, was like, that's a really good. And I think the reason I noticed it specifically is because if you watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe with Liam Neeson as Aslan, if that's how we're saying that name, he roars as a lion, and it was such a letdown. But I watched nature shows, so I know that it wasn't really a letdown, but it was a letdown. So that's something that I've noticed before in different movies. So when he does that, like, he threads the needle, like you said, really well between like being a human and not being an animal, and it still
something
fits.
Beyond human.
Yes.
Right. Because that's exactly what they have to be going for, because that's the whole point of what he's trying to portray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
It is. I felt like the pacing changes a lot as we go into the second half of the movie too. The first half is like Christoph Waltz and Oscar Isaac, and there's banter.
Yes.
And he's feeling emotions. He's talking fast. We're getting a lot of stuff done really in our montages.
I think that's because he's like got that obsessive drive, right? And so the pacing wants you to pick up on everything is this obsessive drive.
Yeah, it was almost, I mean, I don't think it's fair to say it was a comedy or anything,
It's a little
but
frantic.
yeah, the franticness and like how crazy where he's like, it needs to be pure silver and giant batteries, 20 feet tall. It was kind of like laughably complicated, complex, this like steampunk gothic science thing that they had going on. And then the tone changes so much. But also, and I didn't mind. I thought the family stuff and the old blind man, I thought that stuff was pretty well done. And then after that, it just really started dragging for me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we're not talking about the part where Victor's a kid, so we're going to get to that at some point. But
yeah, that was weird.
I think it's sort of as the creature, he is not animated instantly with full intelligence.
Yeah.
And so
capacity, but he doesn't have anything filling it in yet.
Right. And so he's experiencing the world. I want to say this, and I might be wrong, but sort of like this limited scope. What only matters to him right at this minute. Like he's not seeing like complications and layers of things around him until he starts bringing examples. It in more, right? So I think that's very, and like, because he has so few examples, because he is very isolated in the beginning. So how is he supposed to remember any of these things? Or like build on any of them?
Right.
He's not given any experiences to build on. So, yeah.
And that's really interesting because that's that overlap period is after he's created, but before the fire, before Dr. Frankenstein burns down the tower, he even says something like, I didn't really think about like what to actually do with the guy once I brought him to life.
Which, and you're like, the heck?
Yeah, but that is, I don't know, maybe it's ungenerous to say that there are scientists that's how they act. It's like the dog chasing his own tail, and you catch it, and then what do you do with it? Right? Or chasing the cat or chasing the rabbit or whatever.
But that's definitely a point about
responsibility.
And just understanding, I'm not going to say this right, but just understanding if then.
Yeah. Cause and effect.
Yes.
The consequences of actions, but and the immediate ones, I mean, he's clearly a genius, right? His understanding of the human body and anatomy and physiology and stuff. But you didn't think more than like literally 2 days ahead of time.
Right. And I don't understand that because if I'm picking this up correctly, the whole reason he wants to essentially defeat death is because he lost his mom at a young age. And that was very traumatic.
Which we definitely want to get into because did you, like me, think that it was going to be about bringing his mom back to life?
Yes.
But he doesn't even touch on that.
He never talks about her
Doesn't reference it. He doesn't reference her one time after she dies.
Mm-mm.
I don't think. He references his dad once at the table with William, his brother, who he treats like crap.
Yeah.
For years. But he doesn't go back. I mean, we get the crazy him wearing the porcelain thing that's going to go over her face on the grave.
Yeah.
And him walking out. And like, we get that this is a really important animating event in his young life.
Yes.
And it is what is driving him to this obsession. But he's just more obsessed with the concept of conquering death.
Yeah. And so at the beginning of the movie, the captain brings him in and he basically says something like, I'm going to tell you my story. And I meant to write this down, but I'm going to tell you my story. Oh, what is everything is fact, but some of it's true?
I think it was some of it will be fact and some of it will not be, but all of it will be true.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, what does that even mean? So then he tells us about his upbringing, and you're definitely gathering that this is from his point of view, 100%. So you don't know, is his dad really that horrible?
Yeah.
But I think he was
a good dad to William.
Right.
Or at least more affectionate or whatever.
So I think that was true. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what else was
It's that
consistent.
Unreliable narrator thing. Yeah. But, I mean, the point is what it drove him to, right? I mean, that's all the movie cares about with including those scenes is, okay, now you understand why he's so obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Because then we cut to him.
It also shows how his father, quote, teaches him by
just expecting him to memorize things, then smacking him if he doesn't.
If he doesn't, which we see later on, he's been doing that.
He has no patience. He has no concept of what teaching is and like how learning works.
Right.
He just yells at him for not intuitively understanding words immediately. Like it's supposed to have been like a week less, like 3 or 4 days.
And it seemed like he was, when he first meets, when the creature's standing over his bed, it seems like, okay, he appreciates this. He has care for this. He has empathy for this creature. He's going to now
he like
teach
stands
him.
in the sun with him and
Yeah.
he's like, no, it's
You're
good.
like, oh, there's compassion, there's empathy. And then that changes really quickly.
Yeah, when he starts manacling him in the basement, you're like, what are you doing, dude? This is such a bad idea. This is extremely strong monster. You want to be on your side. You want to ingratiate yourself to him, even for just your own safety.
Right. Yeah. That's crazy.
Which, I mean, like, it's easy for us to say, but this is a world where he stitches together a dozen corpses and brings someone to life. And, like, that's insane. So, insane things are going to follow, for sure.
They made a really big deal about the the one prong getting bent a little bit.
When Christoph Waltz fell to his death?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm curious, like, if that had any implication.
Oh, like that was the part that was going to give him a little quicker of intelligence or something?
I don't know.
He ends up being extremely intelligent. He's empathetic. He has wisdom.
I think he just had to learn it, right? Like,
yeah, it was just not instantaneous.
They don't just have those things. You teach them those things. And a product of their circumstances, the things that they learn along the way from watching and observing, and like all of that goes into developing empathy and compassion and everything like that.
And I think we can look back at Victor earlier in the scenes of him, lusting after his sister-in-law, or just like how he just expects things to happen quickly.
Yeah.
He doesn't have patience with like, okay, well, if we're going to do this, I'm going to need this and this and this, and you're just going to give it to me. And I was promised this. He's standing at the gallows.
He is very entitled.
He's very entitled.
With nothing really to like, no reason to be.
I mean, he's
smart,
but
he's not recognized by his peers as smart.
Yeah, true. He doesn't get... I mean, he gets like applause and stuff when he's doing his defense before he gets kicked out. Like people can recognize that, like the charisma that he has some charisma in that intelligentsia setting. But how did you think Oscar Isaac did in that role?
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, there was nothing I think that they were going for that he didn't hit. I think everything they were going for, we were seeing the tension in him that we wanted to see, and his obsessiveness, his creepiness with Elizabeth.
That's one of the things that I don't understand. First of all, what is she wearing on her head? I don't understand these weird feather things. Yeah. She does it more than once. I don't know if this is supposed to be like some kind of halo type symbolism, or really if it's just a costume choice that I don't love.
Well, there were a lot of veils going on earlier during his youth.
So many veils. Like the maids were wearing them.
I don't know if that's a cultural specific thing to that region.
I mean, it's got to be just
Eastern France, Western Germany.
These people aren't important to this story.
Right.
So we're putting veils on their face, so you're not like, we're taking their, individualism away.
Story-wise, he might have been a directorial choice. Could be.
So one, he's lusting after the sister-in-law, or the soon-to-be sister-in-law. But also, I thought that, what's-his-face was sort of trying to put them together. Like, he's leaving them in spaces.
When he's like, yeah, let's get up and go and drink brandy and smoke cigars and leave these two here at the table.
So is he trying to just create an extra tie there so that he has leverage over Victor?
I took that as Christoph Waltz knows that Elizabeth is an intelligent woman who's capable of conversing and debating, and that, because he was still kind of wooing Victor, because he needs him, right? If he's going to replace the syphilis brain reveal that we get later, and Victor's not totally on board. He's like, I don't know, I work alone, all that stuff. Okay, well, let's dangle this carrot of like, you'll get to hang out with her more. And isn't she, finally a woman that can, hang with me intellectually and debate me and those kinds of things. And when she catches his eye, then he knows he can kind of play that to his advantage and just to play Victor on board, I think.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know what her character's supposed to, like.
Unclear.
What does her character bring?
I mean, she's the counterpoint to Victor. She's a counterpoint to Victor because she has empathy and she immediately responds to the monster with empathy and patience and is calm and kind with him. And that's the undoing at the end when he shoots her, and it was because she was like approaching him and wasn't afraid of him and was embracing him and wouldn't let go and stuff like that. That was just so dumb. For him to shoot when she's still right there.
Yeah, he's the worst, which we obviously know, but he's not thinking. He's a child. He's not thinking beyond that. He's not thinking of the consequences of his actions ever. He is literally never thinking of them in this movie.
Right.
It's insane.
And I think, we know Frankenstein was written by a woman, Mary Shelley. And so I think it's kind of fun to think of, to be able to interpret this as like classic man who thinks he's smart and just goes in and is like, well, I know best, so I'm just going to go with my first gut instinct and just do stuff without thinking through the consequences. Whereas the woman is showing compassion and is really trying to think through, okay, well, maybe she's the religious figure. He came from a convent. Maybe he is without sin because he's not from Adam. He was given life separately. And so that's interesting. And he's trying to think through the implications. And Victor's just going, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
Yeah. And one of the worst parts about all of this is every time something bad happens that is very specifically from Victor, he blames the monster.
Yeah. Oh, every time.
Like, he went into a rage and killed your uncle.
Yeah.
But we're not telling anybody that. By the way, the graphics, I did have to look away several times. Like, they were really good, but also not.
In that part where he's like sawing bones, he's sawing legs off each other and stuff.
When Christoph Waltz falls and
his
he
brain
picks up the back of his head.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand. Like, if that was your plan to be implanted into this creature, you never said that. And I think that's a different experiment.
Right. That's the thing, is that you're asking him to change these variables. And I wasn't clear on, like, was the lightning part of it?
So the lightning is just the electricity that's going to jumpstart it,
and
right?
So they weren't going to do this until there was a lightning storm. That was when it was going to have to happen.
To happen after he finished and he's prepping him. He's prepping the creature's dead body.
Yeah, are we going to have to get out the brains and like swap them between bodies and stuff?
And they don't know, like, if we do that, they don't, one, his brain was yucky anyways because of the disease. Like, it was deteriorating his body.
Yeah.
And so, and they also don't know if your brain, like, was his brain going to be in the creature? Would it have been him with a new body? Which is what he was thinking would happen.
But he doesn't express it until like half an hour before the lightning's about to strike.
Right.
Yeah.
Which he should know better because it's a completely different, you're maybe not completely different, but you're throwing in, like you said, different variables. And so how do you know anything's going to work?
So it's more of that irrationality of the incredibly self-confident man. I mean, he had doctor training, then he's a weapons dealer and manufacturing and stuff like that. And so he's just like, well, this is going to work out. I said we had an agreement. I didn't delineate exactly what that was going to look like, and you're going to just do this part for me.
Yeah.
When you know Victor Frankenstein is this man of obsessive devotion to his process and his scientific vision, and he's not going to just change it at the last second for you.
You can't just bring that on him. Yeah. But then he's like, I'll even give you Elizabeth. And you're like, what does that mean?
Right.
I mean, I know what that means, but what does that mean when she's marrying Wallace? William, that's it.
Charlie Wallace, classic. She's marrying Gromit.
Oh, yeah.
Gromit is the one to marry. Gromit's a beast.
So she's marrying him, and she talks about not having choice. At some point, Elizabeth does.
When there's a bottled up the caged butterfly.
Butterfly, yeah.
That's a pretty straightforward metaphor, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, what are we? But I was like, did the uncle have?
He set her up with William on purpose to get closer to
Yeah.
Victor, and then was going to pivot
Yeah.
as needed.
Is
Who
that
knows?
what we're doing here?
Could be.
Okay.
Well, that's what you get to do, right? When you're a rich, powerful white
Yeah.
man, is you get to call the shots like that.
Yeah. And she just has to deal with it. So
So I think, I mean, it all kept me pretty. I mean, everything up until the monster's creation is snappy, and I'm staying with it. And we've got kind of like fun background music when the grossest sawing and bloodiest stuff is happening. The multiple shots of just pools of blood on the ground that he's just hopping over and ignoring because that's just the environment that he's living in. So interesting.
it's so gross. Like,
So can you imagine the smell with all those
that's
dead
what
bodies?
I was going to say. And then it's just like the smell, and then the place has like moles or moss and dirt on
he
every
only cleans
surface.
a couple rooms.
Yeah.
That where he's going to sleep, and the laboratory area up on top.
Which I guess I get that, but also you're walking in that Great Hall area. So every time you leave the building or come back into the building, you're dragging through everything.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't seem like a very clean environment, which you would think as a doctor he would think that it should be somewhat clean.
Yeah. Well, I don't know when germ theory would have come into effect.
I mean, he wears
this
those
is
gloves.
set in like the 1870s. Yeah, but is that just to keep your hands from getting gross?
Is it? I don't know.
Does he
And
wash
they're
those gloves?
red, by the way.
Yeah. So you can
Like,
never tell what's going on.
And
with them.
he's wearing them at very weird times as well.
He climbs the tower by himself during the lightning storm to screw that thing in. He didn't have it pre-prepped.
That's what I was saying. Why are we not doing this already? Like, what? This is
Ridiculous.
the worst time to do it, when it's raining and it's slippery. And
So how did this, have you watched other Frankenstein-based properties in the past, or are you familiar with Bride of Frankenstein or Young Frankenstein or any of that kind of stuff?
None of them. The only thing that I've got is
Frankencelery from VeggieTales.
Van Helsing has like a...
Is that Viggo Mortensen?
No, it's Hugh Jackman.
The Hugh Jackman one. Well, there's an earlier Van Helsing with someone else? Question mark? Am I making that up?
I don't know. I
thought there was some kind of Viggo Mortensen Van Helsing.
But he's in there for just a couple of minutes, like a couple of scenes, and
you didn't have a lot of Frankenstein-based expectations
Not really,
for this to
no.
buck up against. And we've all heard of Frankenstein. We've all seen Addams Family-esque, like that kind of version of it. Just we were expecting there to be an Igor helping him. He'd have an assistant.
nothing like that.
No Igor.
Which I think William sort of was doing that, right?
Yeah, that just made me really, as an older brother with one younger brother, where he just kept ignoring him and just pushing off responsibilities on him. He's like, do this for me, while I'm over here, trying to hit on your fiance. And the brother wanting that relationship, but not being fulfilled by it. That was sad.
I'm not seeing a second. I'm seeing Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman and then the TV show.
Oh, well, I made something up then.
Or it just wasn't called Van Helsing.
Maybe. I thought Jacob Elordi does a good job. It's a very physical role where he's got to walk a certain way and he's speaking haltingly. He held his hands really weirdly a lot of the time. Like the way that his elbow functionality wasn't all there.
And he very agilely.
Much agility.
Yeah, he moves through small spaces as a very tall person.
Yeah, he's 6'5".
Yeah, and that was that intrigued me because I know he's a tall person. And he's like crawling under things and like using the span of his body to get low to the ground.
Yeah, he's trying to inhabit the character and inhabit the space and do a lot of the physicality stuff. Do you think, Rachel and I were wondering about this, was it a bodysuit that they had him in, especially early on with the different, he almost looked like Nebula from a Marvel movie, where he was like, had the different
That's
slice
what Gabriella
stuff.
said.
And he was so smooth.
Yeah. Just because she popped in when I was watching towards the end of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was. I think it was prosthetics.
You think?
I think just patched prosthetics over certain areas of his
Yeah.
body.
Not even makeup. It was the smoothness was almost a little off. It threw me off a little bit because I mean there wasn't hair and the scar lines were very clear. I mean I guess he was trying to grab the best bits of different guys or whatever, but
In a very weird way.
Yeah.
And then I think it's the prosthetics because they put him in the jacket very quickly.
they did, yeah.
Once he's out of that space.
Then we can hide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they don't have to
that.
worry about doing this stuff as much elaborately because you can hide it with a jacket.
Yeah.
Or coat or whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
So the end, things slow way down. We watch both William and Elizabeth die on the night of their wedding. And then it's just the monster is moving through the world into like the North Pole. And Dr. Frankenstein is chasing him.
Well,
and it becomes less about the plot and more about kind of the ultimate struggle of man. What does it mean to be human? He can't die, but he hates his existence because everyone's so disgusted by him. And
yeah.
And it just slowed down for me there when it became more philosophical.
I mean, he says, if you're not going to make me a companion where I can live, then I'm going to lean into the rage, basically.
Yeah.
Right? He says that to Victor. And then he says, and I'm going to make you pay for it. Which this horrible part of me is like, well, those are the consequences of your actions. Like, you weren't thinking about them. And now he's basically going to haunt you, for lack of a better term. And you have to think about them.
Yeah. It's very time period appropriate kind of gothic horror sort of thing where he just dies. Like he hunts him to death essentially, like successfully. And it's not clear like what the doctor dies of. He gets on the boat, he's kind of getting treated, his leg's been, is getting healed up or whatever. And he just dies of like this.
I mean, he was stabbed
lack
a couple
of fulfillment
times.
and this longing obsession. Like that was how people died back in this sort of time frame. So I mean, I appreciate thinking about that nature of, like we keep saying, consequences, taking responsibility for your own actions, what it means to be human, and his own self-concept and self-realization. But I felt like we could have done like a half hour less of some of these long shots of them 200 yards apart and he's chasing him but shooting at him or whatever. And it was beautiful. I mean, Del Toro he clearly has an eye for getting the right shots and some of the cinematography and stuff. It just could have been paced up, I thought. For me, it started to drag a little bit at the end.
Yeah. I agree. I locked in because I wanted to know like how it was going to come together.
Yeah, you're going to finish it.
But
and it comes together.
Was like, okay.
Yeah. It's not trying to be fulfilling like, oh, I'm going to put together, there's going to be a twist and it's going to lock the plot stuff into place. It stops caring about the plot aspect of things. And it becomes more just about the conceptual stuff.
How do we finish it? How do we close the loop?
Well, I mean, I don't think Shelley cares that much about us feeling like a loop has been closed as readers or watchers.
I can't say that this movie I didn't read the book, so I can't say that the movie properly honors how the book closes either.
Yeah. And so if you weren't, and I don't remember it well enough, the ending at this point, I would assume that if you were just going to make a movie from scratch, you would want it to have a little bit more of that feeling of finality and of narrative closure.
Yeah.
And so you have to be basing it on. I mean, I assume that Del Toro
is the
only reason he would do it that way
I don't know.
is because the book has this kind of like, all right, well, it's over now. Think about that. That sucks to think about, doesn't it, reader? And you're like, yes, it does, Mary Shelley. Thank you. Because you feel, I mean, it's from the very beginning, at no point are you as a viewer disgusted by the creature or upset with him. You immediately feel sympathy and empathy for him.
Oh, yeah.
You immediately are arguing from his perspective. And so the tragedy just of how he's never able to get anything. I mean, he does for that brief sliver of time with the old man. He has a friend.
He has peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's at the end, the Victor dies, and the monster hops down off of the boat or goes down the ladder, whatever, and pushes the boat out of the ice. And the captain says, let's turn around and go home.
Because he had been dead set on, we're going to continue our journey. We're going to get where we're supposed to go because that's what I'm supposed to do. Probably is what he's being paid to do.
And, damn the consequences, right? The losing of the men and the
There's going to be financial ramifications.
Yeah. And so he turns around, and I just think that's an interesting concept too, because like it's okay to turn around sometimes.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about him as a foil for Dr. Frankenstein. But yeah, think about what you're doing and the real actual implications.
Yeah.
Because the whole time when we cut back to the captain, he's saying the mate's like, my guy, we got if we get out of this ice, we do, we got to just turn around and go home.
Yeah.
There's no success here. You can imagine the amount of food they've wasted and the resources and stuff like that. And he keeps going, no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then he sees Dr. Frankenstein tell him this whole story about how he obsessively pursued a goal in single-minded fashion, and he regretted it by the end. And he apologizes to the creature and all that. And he's like, okay, I'm man enough to say that I'm changing my mind.
Yeah.
That's what it really takes a big man to do.
Is greatness accomplished by turning around? Like, that's the duality of the
is what
concept,
he accomplished, right? Greatness? I mean, I guess
I don't know.
He created life synthetically, but
well, I'm still talking about the captain. Like, if he makes it to the North Pole, like, what were they going to do there? Does it
ever state that the North Pole is what they're trying to do? I assumed it was some kind of commercial shipping venture. They've got cargo to be delivered to Canada.
I thought it was like the Royal Navy. Or not
Denmark?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, so we might be missing that on both counts.
I don't know. Yeah,
I probably should have paid attention to that specifically.
I mean, even if it's an exploration thing, or it's you're trying to make money for your company thing, and you're going to be in trouble if you don't. You do have to push through adversity and things like that, but you do also need to keep an eye on the big picture of the feasibility of success and what
there's a balance.
Like, what does success actually look like?
Yeah.
So. Have you watched any other Del Toro that you know of? This director?
I actually don't know.
So a couple years ago, there was Pinocchio, the stop action.
I didn't watch that one.
The stop motion animation one. I saw that, and I've seen Pan's Labyrinth years ago, back in high school. I don't remember much about that other than that it was kind of scary. He's one of our renowned directors. He may become the next president of the Directors Guild of America. He's a big deal, and people love him, and he loves the practical effects. And I do think the movie looks really good. There's not a lot of CGI happening. There's not a lot of green screening because he's doing a lot of things really practically and with makeup and things like that. So I appreciated it.
I watched Pacific Rim.
Okay.
I'm looking. See what else.
Not a lot else.
We have The Shape of Water. Like, we've been meaning to watch that, but we haven't watched it yet.
I've not seen Shape of Water. Which won Best Picture? It was nominated.
It was not. I think it won.
I think so too.
I'm not seeing him as a director on a lot of these movies. Like,
Hellboy?
He's on producers' lot. Oh, I did see Hellboy. I didn't feel any strong way about it, though. Like, it was good, but it wasn't like...
IMDb has his known for as Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy,
Blade 2,
Pinocchio, and Shape of Water.
I've seen. So maybe not a ton of his stuff. Like, he's not a director that I know by name.
Oh,
I mean, I know his
Alley
name, but
was nominated for Best Picture a few years ago with like Orlando Bloom and.
Oh, is that a horror one?
Oh, Bradley Cooper and Cate Blanchett. It's like a weird horror circus thing.
Because I do love some Cate Blanchett.
Hey, Lord of the Rings, let's do this. Crimson Peak, The Strain.
And Willem Dafoe is in that?
I didn't see it.
Okay,
And he
that's
is
interesting.
he's Spanish, I believe. No? Is he Mexican? He's Mexican, that's right. So I'll keep looking at Del Toro works. This didn't make me think that I don't want to watch him. I don't know if there's a movie I'll go back to necessarily, but it's a memorable one. And I told Rachel I liked it a bit more than I thought I would. Some of the reviews I'd heard were pretty mixed, or just people saying like, yeah, I mean, it was technically well done. It just didn't land for me. It didn't I wasn't the target audience, didn't hit me. So I wasn't expecting to be blown away. But I thought that that the first 2/3 of it were really, I really enjoyed, honestly. And then it slowed down too much for me
when he
by
finds
the
him
end.
and
Yeah. But I thought it was good. Best Picture, I mean, I wouldn't think that it would be in competition, but I thought it was good. What'd you think?
you like Frankenstein v. Sinners.
I like Sinners a lot more.
Yeah. I probably won't watch it again.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't love it, didn't hate it. There's a lot of good things about it, I think, if you're looking for the artisticness. I think the costumes were amazing. I think the special effects were pretty good, except the wolves were a little not great. They weren't horrible, but they were kind of obvious. But also, like, I get that. We're not using real wolves, you know?
And he's like ripping their spines out and stuff with his bare hands.
I couldn't look at that because it was just so.
Well, they're too much
even
like
though
dogs.
they're fake.
But they're too much like dogs.
Yeah.
And we don't mess with that here on the Flabbergasted.
We don't do dog killing of any kind.
Oh, since Hunt for the Wilder People. Oh, Grace, you're killing me. So, Flabber people at home, please let us know what you thought about Guillermo del Toro's 2025 Frankenstein, available to stream on Netflix as of today and probably for the foreseeable future. I think it was a Netflix-funded kind of venture. Yeah. Tell us what you thought about Jacob Elordi, Oscar Isaac. We didn't talk about Christoph Waltz very much. He's just being Christoph Waltz, just doing his thing.
He is very, very much the same, but also very different characters in everything I've seen him in so far.
Have you seen previews for his Dracula movie in a couple months?
Yes, like really tiny snippets. I haven't seen an actual cohesive preview.
Yeah.
But yeah, which I think is kind of interesting that he did Frankenstein and now Dracula.
Yeah,
so like
he's getting into that gothic horror.
Yeah.
I saw a full-length one before Hamnet a couple weeks ago. I was like, okay, interesting.
So what's that storyline going to be?
So there's spoiler alert for a Dracula movie that hasn't come out yet. This is just the trailer of a Dracula movie, but he is hired by the church to do all the research and investigation into, okay, it feels like for 500 years it's kind of been a thread of these stories of blah, 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 vampire type stuff. And he eventually figures out the chronology and figures out the details of what being a vampire is, and like finds that there's someone still alive that is Count Dracula, who is obsessed with. He was like a powerful knight who sold his soul, essentially, or he made some kind of promise that, well, if you let her live, then I'll fight for you. But then they kill the wife anyway, and then he's like waiting for her to be reincarnated, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And then he sees a woman that looks just like her and is like, okay, this is it. He's going to turn her into a vampire, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
And so Christoph Waltz is like then hunting him down and meets up with him and is like, I can give you a way out of this like curse type of thing. It's not just like a fighting, like a trying to reason with him, maybe.
Okay. I will check it out probably just to see what it's about, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Let us know what you think, guys. Are you interested in more Christoph Waltz roles? A longtime best Flabbergasted favorite.
Yes.
We loved him in Inglourious Bastards. And is that the only Christoph Waltz movie we've done? No, Django.
Unchained.
Yeah, both of the Tarantinos. So if you loved Frankenstein, let us know on social media, on Instagram, or in the YouTube comments. If you're one of my students that's listening to this for some reason, I know you didn't watch Frankenstein and consider the themes of what it means to be human and the concepts of innocence and responsibility. So don't get it twisted. You're just here so that you can quote me misspeaking one time and then make fun of me for it in class. We all know that's what's happening. Kyler, do your homework.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Guys.